I literally made a video with a title like this. It was pretty much just a live stream, and I yapped for like 30 minutes, ranting about why this shit's so fucking boring. So, a huge detail of that was pretty much just like how this game could summarize all their dialogue and still have it makes and like and still have it be a story where you get every key detail. So I'm gonna go over the key reasons why I think this shit's ass, and I'm gonna go over the one thing that would make it playable for me. Number one, Paimon talks too much. She doesn't contribute anything to the story. She's pretty much toxic. Like how she treats this guy. If a character has any type of flaw, she will constantly non-stop talk about that singular flaw that they have, or, you know, the multiple flaws that they have, like Zhongli not spending money. We get it, Paimon. Zhongli is shit with money. You don't have to talk about it every 2 seconds. We get it, Paimon. Venti gets drunk even though he's supposed to be a god. Why the fuck do you hate him so much? It's just, and then like her English VA is just like, it's awful. I think her English VA is good at voicing annoying bitches, but you don't want an annoying bitch in your ear every 2 fucking seconds who's talking for you. If you want to play without the insufferable English VA, then play in Chinese. Paimon sounds chill there, because even in Japanese, she just sounds annoying as shit. Be for real. Number two, Ether not having voiced lines. That shit is cringe. For English, right? I'd actually sacrifice my life and listen to Paimon's English VA with her annoying ass attitude if I could hear Ether talk too. I really would, because he's voiced by Zach Aguilar and he does great work. I'd love to hear him talk. So, when Ether has no actual voice lines in the game, besides, you know, the over an hour of voice lines that he's literally had since the game started, but he never has any in the story, and I'm just like, but Blood, that's like the one place
so
I really...
Mondstadt, alchemy is practiced out on the streets?
Yeah, it's just like, that's the one place, the story is the one place I want this dude to talk, and he doesn't talk here. So what you get is an annoying fairy, some guy you don't give a shit about, chopped shit, and 300,000 NPCs talking at a blonde guy because he doesn't actually fucking respond. And it is shown that he can talk. In like some cutscenes, he'll do it, or you'll see like the dialogue box in the right corner. In those times, it's just like the camera will just zoom in on his face. He'll do a dumbass pose, and then that's it. And then they just move on. No, they don't even move on. And then Paimon will pretty much just regurgitate some useless shit the moment I fucking speak. And then it's just like, I don't know what the fuck did I even need to say anything for? It's just like, she'll just say it all for me, won't she? In her annoying ass fucking way. I'd say number 3 is probably just like how lazy it all is. Especially lazy with Genshin. They'll have the NPC do their little walking animation after they like load them in. They'll come over here, do the explain, blah blah blah, then yap for 3 minutes. Not for 3 minutes, for 30 minutes. So, here's how it goes. We're just gonna go ahead and drop to 4, which is literally the yapping. You could summarize a lot of the shit that happens, or that they talk about, in like 5 words. And if it's a paragraph, 3 sentences, max. For some reason, this game has an issue with using words that are big in order to make the characters sound smarter. But I promise you, nobody fucking cares, and if you want the character to sound smarter, have them understand a concept that others don't. And by others, I don't mean Paimon, because he can't seem to understand anything despite trying to be a fucking guide. Literally, Albedo can say the simplest of shit. Yeah, if we take some of this slime condensate, we can actually turn it into, like, some sort of truth serum.
A truth serum? What's that?
Or something, you know? So just be like, yo, Paimon, shut the fuck up. Like, literally, bro, we get it. We understand what the fuck that nigga's talking about, and or we don't. It's some nerd shit. We don't need you to explain it. Other people could just be like, pardon? And then they can explain. But no, they never do that. I've literally never, I don't even think I've ever heard that before. I've never just heard them use pardon in order to make somebody explain or just for some sort of understanding. I feel like that roll off pretty well. But they don't. So it's just like, you'll get some shit just like, instead of me saying the dialogue box in the bottom right, the game would say something like,
I do hope the Knights of Favonius
the text box created by Ether in order to convey his thoughts clearly to the viewer. It is with white text filled inside and has a translucent gray background in order to indicate. So there are several options to choose from. Like how I can talk to this gentleman here or this gentleman here. It's just like, bro, you don't need to add all that. It's just like, it's just the fucking text box on the right. Like, just be fucking for real. They do that shit all the time. And then the last one would probably be, this one's hard to say because I feel like the other core details that I just included would pretty much wrap it up, right? But because of the yapping, it adds length, and length is pretty much the last thing. I don't want to sit here for 3 hours and get shit that I could summarize in like 5 minutes. Or I don't want to sit here for an hour and a half and get shit I could summarize in like 5 minutes of talking. Or 10. So, yeah. You know, just keep that shit in mind there. You know what I mean? Keep that in mind. You're wasting time, you're wasting my time, you're wasting other people's time. And then pretending like it's like this good thing when it's not. Stop doing it. Fuck you.
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here.
Charge attack. Yacht attack. So yeah. The one thing that would pretty much save it is just giving Ether. Literally, you don't even have to voice the old content. If you voice him from here on out and everything that he appears in, like, if this nigga's talking, I want to hear Ether talking back. I want to hear Ether talking to him. And the only thing I want Paimon to do is sit there and be confused. Not confused when it's real obvious. She can add her little lines in, sure. As long as they're 3 words. Or, 5 words max, right? So, but Ether's talking for himself. Paimon stops regurgitating shit that we already fucking heard. And so, it's less them talking at the main character and them having a 5-hour conversation with the main character, which, yeah, would end up getting a little boring, but it's like, hey, yeah, that's Ether, that's my dog, I play him all the time, bro. I remember since he was a jit, bro. I've known this dude for like 5 years. And it'll feel like that. So yeah. That'd be an easy way just to fix it. Just right there. Literally, just give Ether a voice, and I promise you this shit will instantly become more bearable, simply because they're not just talking at me. I'm pretty sure that's like the main thing. They get like you feel a disconnect when the main character, who actually does have a voice, a great voice actor, who actually has true opinions, like when he denied Lenny and Lynette because he felt betrayed that they wouldn't tell him such a great detail. With Child, he knew off the jump, and Child betrayed him then pretty much by trying to kill him inside of the golden altar and, flooding all of Liyue with that little old fallen god or whatever. But he's buddy-buddy with them, so it made him a hypocrite. So I guess he was pretty much being petty towards Lenny and Lynette because he felt betrayed, because he just didn't know. So feelings like that are sort of complex, right? But you don't get to add them to anything. You know what I mean? You don't get to add those feelings to a character. Like, yeah, that's how Ether felt. But you don't even know Ether's fucking voice half the fucking time, you know what I mean? So it's like hard to associate any type of emotion when it comes to this dude. And that's sad. It takes away a lot of immersion. And I think just having that there would create more of a connect for me and anybody else playing the fucking game. Is that irrational? I feel like if Ether isn't us, and if the story is always going to go one way, and if he has decisions like that solely based off of his character that he's built up through the game, then I think he should have a voice by now. That would make more sense. But yeah, that's just my opinion, and I think it's the majority opinion. So there's that.
Dare to mess with me?
I just think sometimes people don't even realize what the fuck the actual problem is, besides Paimon's yapping. It's just like, even with all that, if Ether just talked more, it'd be better. An example of like the story that's good. You know how Belle and Wise are both main characters that you can pick. Sure, if you pick Belle, you literally have 0 Riz and you're going to be awkward with every fucking female character you get. But her voice actor's pretty good, and she's fierce. She delivers lines well, and she actually talks in the fucking story, and I enjoy that. I picked Wise. His voice actor, for some reason, decided to voice Wise as like this, almost like a fucking pacifist. I even heard Belle say, "That rat dialing girl sure has riz." Like I said, bro. Cringe. But still, she has a voice. I can associate her with something. So when I do the story quest with Villain Zone Zero, they don't layer it on. They don't layer it on thick with all the fucking yapping. It'll just be the main character and other characters, by the way. This right here is rare. We're just talking to actual characters here. Usually, it's the main character talking to an NPC. An NPC whose face can be seen copy-pasted throughout the entire fucking map. No matter where you are. Here. In the NPC enemies you fight along this whole region. Throughout this world. They are just copy-pasted and blasted in the same fucking place. It's just like, bro. It, like, how does that not get old? How does that not just, like... You know what? Should we do it? Should we walk around until we find this guy's face? Let's go do that. Let's literally walk around until we find that dude's face model somewhere else. Here, let's try and go to fucking Inazuma, just to prove a point. Let's go to Inazuma. This shit is across the waters. Nobody should even look the same here. Surely I won't be able to find it in Inazuma City. That'd be silly.
I haven't been a child for many, many years, so I don't see any reason to be excited about the rain.
Good for you. Anyway, it's just like... Think about it like this. I'm talking about Farazan right now. Farazan isn't a child. There's no way. That's not him. No, that's not him. But damn, they all look the same.
Please speak to President Sangha. I'm just a helper.
Are you literally the guy that was just down there? Yeah. Okay. Regards from your twin brother, I guess. Oh look, here he is again, right here. Oh shit, here he is again, right here. I remember doing Ito's story quest and seeing that guy like 3 times. Look, here that other bowl cut dude is again right here, and they all have the same face with different hair sometimes. But a lot of times it's the same fucking hair as well. Look, same hair, same color, same eyes, same everything. It's just like, wow. And people think that they fucking care. Oof, that's a long way. But, yeah. You know how shit go. That is a pretty big part. It's just like, with Zenless, you don't talk to straight NPCs. You mainly talk to the characters that are in the game. And this game has over 90 characters. So that is not something that's hard to make happen in any capacity. In fact, it's pretty simple. It's like the most straightforward shit. Have some of your 90 characters just come over to the current region you're at and only talk to those guys. Like when they've realized that Xinyan was a character in their game, and so they just randomly put her along with every fucking story quest. And they were like, also bring Kazuha because he's a wanderer, and Xinyan just goes, okay. I was like, sure, whatever. And despite that, like Nilo or whatever, what's her name is, the last fucking story quest I played, Nilo was very, very excited to see a person who has literally never spoken a fucking word to her. So, she ran over and gave Ether a hug. I remember, like, the fucking incels and shit were literally, like, going crazy over this. And so, what is Ether's response? It's literally just to stand there. It's just like, I don't understand how you have such an emotional attachment to somebody who literally doesn't talk to you. And holy fuck, does her default outfit look way cooler than I initially thought it did. She's actually sort of drippy here. Yeah, this looks like the prestiged version of this. Maybe it just appeals to people with a foot fetish or something. Alright. So yeah. That'll probably be it. That was like 30 minutes of yapping and like pretty much like 12 minutes. If I just cut the in-betweens of me going to fucking Inazuma, the gaps in my speech, that is like probably like 12 minutes of like a 30-minute summary. And I think Genshin can do that same thing I just did to summarize the points. And I'm doing this shit off my off the dome, right? So they could definitely do the same fucking thing, or you know, they could not do it off the dome and actually plan it out to not be fucking insufferable. But they're gonna make it that way anyway. Now let's analyze what I've said and just see how much of the elements are going to be in this single dialogue option.
Hey, everyone.
Weird pauses.
Ah, Granny. You're back.
So, no good news for me then?
You saw right through me. The Traveler collected a lot of spirits, and I checked all of them one by one.
I figured. It was written all over your face. It's alright. I didn't exactly have high hopes for the needle in a haystack approach anyway.
Leela's condition is still stable, but we're not really getting anywhere.
Well, luckily, I made some progress on my end.
I guess
Leela's
that's
parents
Leland.
told me that he made a new friend recently, and apparently he's been out of the house for days at a time. On one occasion, they secretly followed him and saw him and his friend tinkering around with something at a camp.
You saw, so no good news for me then. You saw right through me. Crackling Gale collected a lot of spirits, and I checked all of them one by one. None of them matches Layla's description. Let me summarize this for you. You're right. Just even though the Traveler got a lot of the spirits, none of them were Layla's. I figured. That's it. All this needs to be is I figured. Layla's condition is still stable. We're not really getting anywhere. Well, I made some progress. And these are important details, so I'm not gonna say shit. There's just a lot going on. Okay, but I'll read through it. Well, luckily I made some progress on my end. Layla's parents told me that he made a new friend recently. And apparently, he's been out of the house for days at a time. On one occasion, they secretly followed him and saw him and his friend tinkering around with something at a camp. Yeah, these are just key details. I understand it, but you could see, like, literally everything that I'm fucking talking about is just there. And, like, the traveler's about to enter in his 2 fucking cents. They saw his friend? What do you think? They told me that he made a new friend. On one occasion, they could follow him, and they saw him and his friend. He saw his friend? What is he even contributing here? It's at this point, just let them talk at you if you're not gonna say anything worthwhile. If it was voiced, at least I could get invested in it. But it's just like, I'm clicking on the dialogue option, and after I say this, I'm going to get a response from her that's going to trigger more yapping that didn't need to be stopped, or Paimon's gonna chime in.
Yeah, some guy who goes by the name Kokuchu, dressed in what looked like Inazuman attire.
I was just over there.
Is this really all I'll need, Mr. Kokuchu?
Based on my studies of the ancient texts, hypersensitivity is usually treated with desensitization therapy. So, I figure there's no reason it shouldn't work in reverse. Now, for a poor chap like yourself with no sensitivity to spirits whatsoever, you'll have to completely immerse yourself in spiritually rich substances for this to be effective. I'm electing to name this approach hypersensitization therapy.
Is it risky?
You're the spirit duffer, not me. I'm sure you're more clued up than I am on the potential consequences of brute force clairvoyance. Ultimately, it's your decision.
All right, but I do have one last question. What's in this for you? People like me obviously don't have much clout in this tribe, so it's not like I can offer you much in return.
You think I'm looking for a reward? Oh, my good sir, take a look at my face. Isn't the answer written here clear as day?
What? What's written there?
Okay, I was actually
Just a friendly
AFK.
guy who's happy to help.
And then the English voice actors. Alright, we're just gonna end it off here because I'm actually about to kill myself. So I'm just gonna... You know what? First, before we do that, I'm just gonna skip through all this because if you do leave in the middle, it's going to put you at the start.
Anything but novel.
And
As
I'm
for
not
this
trying to do any of
Leela's
that.
parents gave me the address of the camp, so I went and checked it out. There was
What's this?
a broken shard.
Also, why does the game do this
Probably
thing
from a
where it's just
weapon or
like, you
some
can't
sort of
skip this, you
ceremonial
can't skip this,
implement.
fine. Like, what? Just let me skip it! You can't skip this, you can't skip this, you can't skip this. Alright, I won't let you skip it now. Alright, let's summarize everything that just happened, because that was a whole lot of yapping. They saw his friend. I thought this was just going to be more back and forth, because this game does a whole lot of telling and not showing. Instead, they actually showed, which I think is pretty impressive. However, it was lame. So it doesn't matter. Plus, the English VAs for these people, you know, they suck. So yeah, there you go. I'm just a friendly guy who's happy to help.
Just a friendly guy who's happy to help.
How did he possibly say that worse than me? Like, okay. Yeah, some guy who goes by the name Kokuchu. So, how does me saying they saw his friend? Yeah, would be the normal response. You want to know what would have been better to inspire the rest of this dialogue? Do you know who the friend was? Yeah, some guy who goes by the name Kokuchu. Like, literally, if you're gonna have him have any line at all, don't make it something that doesn't contribute. Make it make sense. Make it inquire about something. That way, when they actually answer, it doesn't make zero sense. Alright. Let's summarize. Is this really all I need, Coke? Based on my studies of the ancient texts, hypersensitivity is usually treated with a desensitization or desensitization therapy, so I figured there's no reason it shouldn't work in reverse. Whole lot of yapping about stuff nobody knows about, and words that are too hard to fucking pronounce. Not too hard to pronounce, but like, a pain. Now, for a poor chap like yourself, with no sensitivity to spirits whatsoever, you'll have to completely immerse yourself in spiritually rich substances for this to be effective. I'm electing to name this approach the hypersensitization therapy. Is it risky? You're a spirit duffer, not me. I'm sure you're more clued up than I am on the potential consequences of brute force clairvoyance. Ultimately, it's your decision. Alright, but I do have one question. What's in this for you? People like me obviously don't have much clout in this tribe, so it's not like I can offer you much in return. You think I'm looking for a reward? Oh, my good sir, take a look in my face. Isn't the answer written as clear as day? Just a friendly guy who's happy to help. Yeah, okay. I guess they thought that was aura. I guess this game thought that was like aura or something. Anyway. I don't know. This guy thinks he's like the main villain or something. Like you're literally just an NPC. Relax. Relax, bro. Jesus Christ. I don't even know how to summarize this because I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Hypersensitization. Sensitization. Okay, I'm like messing up the word because I'm reading it from a higher angle. Okay. Hypersensitization therapy. What a pain. Good grief. Hypersensitivity. Hypersensitization. Sensitization. Hypersensitivity is usually treated with desensitization. So I figured there's no reason it wouldn't work in the reverse. This nigga's literally talking like Gojo after he got like KO'd. This nigga's just like, you see, the way you do the reverse grip technique, you make positive energy out of the negative energy. Because when you get two negatives and slam them together, you use that to create positive energy. That's the reverse grip technique. It's just like, why is he talking like that? This is so fucking stupid.
You feel that? It might look old, but it has extremely strong traces of spiritual energy.
We're in Bleach.
Leela must have used this as his medium. It would definitely explain how a spirit duffer like him was able to trigger a clairvoyant experience.
Literally, remove that last part. Layla must have used this as his medium. Get to the point. If that's the point,
Wait,
then
there's
leave
something else. It feels so familiar. I think this is somehow connected to my ancient name.
Connected how? Is it like a shard of an ancient name?
No, more like... I think this item might have belonged to a previous bearer of my ancient name.
it. Damn, this voice actor's ass. Both of them suck. I really should put it back in Chinese.
Okay, that's it. Granny's getting itchy clairvoyance fingers. I'm going to try using this shard as a medium.
All you had to say was, let's cut to the chase.
Cool, same as last time?
And then act! Oh my god, before she could even act, he just has to say something. What are these? Nah, bro. Oh my god, bro.
Nope. Auroron can do the recording this time.
Why?
It's a safety measure. You have a better understanding of the spirit domain than the Traveler. If this really is a Sanhaj relic, you'll be better placed to deal with the fallout in the event that something goes wrong.
Ah, see, Paimon? Told you Granny has a soft spot for the Traveler. Look at her not wanting to put him in danger. Meanwhile, I'm just a grandkid, so I'm expendable.
Yeah, I said him!
Hey, what are you blabbing on about?
Sorry, Granny. I'm ready now.
Yeah, I was just blabbling about that stuff in the exact same, tone, at the exact same distance that I was from you. And you just weren't able to hear me because I didn't want you to. My god, how do any secrets ever get leaked in this place?
Then let us begin.
We literally could have begun once she just said, alright, let's cut to the chase. We're gonna have Oberon do this thing instead of having Paimon see that in order to trigger her saying, oh, big reveal, Oberon's actually gonna do it. See? She just doesn't want you to get hurt. Hey, bruh, literally, it's so simple. It's just like the dialogue is just it's so garbage, bro.
Alright, what's on the scroll this time?
I literally can't get past this.
Right!
I saw a bow just like this
Fine. I'm just gonna get off anyway.